Our next lesson is the philosophy of zero. The word zero comes from the Sanskrit term meaning nothing. The Chinese mathematicians had already been using an empty space to denote zero for a couple of 100 years, but the Indians created an empty circle to be the symbol for zero. Not only did he present the standard arithmetical rules for calculating with fractions, but in chapter 18 of his book Brahmasputa Siddhanta, or the correct astronomical system of Brahma, he gave the rules for operations on positive and negative numbers, as well as zero. The sum of two positives is positive, of two negatives negative, of a positive and a negative, the sum is their difference. If they are equal, it is zero. If a smaller positive is to be subtracted from a larger positive, the result is positive. If a smaller negative from a larger negative, the result is negative. If a larger negative or positive is to be reversed negative, becomes positive and positive negative. A negative minus 0 is negative. A positive minus 0 is positive. 0 minus 0 is 0. When a positive is to be subtracted from a negative or a negative from a positive, then it is to be added. The product of a negative and a positive is negative. Of two negatives, positive, and of positives, positive. The product of 0 and a negative, of 0 and a positive, or of two zeros is 0. A positive divided by a positive or a negative divided by a negative is positive. A 0 divided by 0 is 0. A positive divided by a negative is negative. A negative divided by a positive is also negative. A negative or a positive divided by 0 has that 0 as its divisor, or 0 divided by a negative or a positive has that negative or positive as its divisor. These final rules for operating with 0 sounds strange to us, but Bhaskara too, after repeating essentially the same rules in his own work, justified them using the concept of infinity. In this quantity also, which has 0 as its divisor, there is no change even when many quantities have entered into it or come out of it, just as at the time of destruction and of creation, when throngs of creatures enter into and come out of him. There is no change in the infinite and unchanging one, in example, Vishnu. Nevertheless, he could still set the problem. There is an unknown number whose multiplier is 0. Its own half is added. Its multiplier is 3. Its divisor 0. The given number is 63. Evidently, he was thinking of the equation, which, by factoring out the zeros in the numerator and cancelling, becomes an equation whose solution is 14.